Penguin Random House Audio presents The Harlequin by Laurell K. Hamilton. Read for you by Cynthia Holloway.
Chapter 1. Malcolm, the head of the Church of Eternal Life, the vampire church, sat across from me. Malcolm had never been in my office before. In fact, the last time I'd seen him, he'd accused me of doing black magic and being a whore. I'd also killed one of his members on church grounds, in front of him and the rest of his congregation. The dead vamp had been a serial killer. I'd had a court order of execution, but still, it hadn't made Malcolm and me buddies. I sat behind my desk, sipping coffee from my newest Christmas-themed mug. A little girl sat on Santa's lap saying, "Define good." I worked hard every year to find the most offensive mug I could, so that Bert, our business manager, could throw a fit. This year's mug was tame by my usual standards. It had become one of my holiday traditions. I'd at least dressed for the season in red skirt and jacket, very festive for me. I had a new gun in my shoulder holster. A friend of mine had finally persuaded me to give up my Browning high power for something that fit my hand a little better. The Browning was at home in the gun safe, and the Heckler & Koch P200 was in the holster. I felt like I was cheating. Once upon a time, I'd thought Malcolm handsome, but that had been when his vampire tricks worked on me. Without vampire wiles to cloud my perception, I could see that his bone structure was too rough, almost as if it hadn't quite gotten smoothed out before they put that pale skin on it. His hair was cut short and had a little curl to it, because to take the curl out of it, he'd have had to shave it. The hair was a bright, bright canary yellow. That's what blonde hair does if you take it out of the sun for a few hundred years. He looked at me with his blue eyes and smiled, and the smile filled his face with personality. That same personality that made his Sunday morning television program such a hit. It wasn't magic. It was just him. Charisma, for lack of a better word. There was force to Malcolm that had nothing to do with vampire powers and everything to do with who he was, not what he was. He'd have been a leader and a mover of men, even if he'd been alive. The smile softened his features, filled his face with a zeal that was both compelling and frightening. He was a true believer, head of a church of true believers. The whole idea of a vampire church still creeped me out, but it was the fastest-growing denomination in the country. "I was surprised to see your name in my appointment book, Malcolm," I said finally. "I understand that, Ms. Blake. I'm almost equally surprised to be here." "Fine. We're both surprised. Why are you here?" "I suspect you have, or will soon have, a warrant of execution for a member of my church." I managed to keep my face blank, but felt the stiffness in my shoulders. He'd see the reaction, and he'd know what it meant. Master vampires don't miss much. "You have a lot of members, Malcolm. Could you narrow it down a little? Who exactly are we talking about?" "Don't be coy, Miss Blake." "I'm not being coy." "You're trying to imply that you have a warrant for more than one of my vampires. I do not believe it, and neither do you." I should have felt insulted, because I wasn't lying. 2 of his upstanding vamps had been very naughty. If your vampires were fully blood-oathed to you, you'd know I was telling the truth, because you'd be able to enforce your moral code in entirely new ways. "A blood oath is not a guarantee of absolute control, Ms. Blake." "No, but it's a start." A blood oath was what a vamp took when he joined a new vampire group, a new kiss. He literally took blood from the master of the city. It meant the master had a lot more control over him, and the lesser vamps gained in power too. If their master was powerful enough. A weak master
Sample complete. Ready to continue?